Hey. What's up, y'all? So, I wanted to jump on here and just kind of touch, I look a hot mess. It has been a long couple of days. And today, same kind of thing. It's very tiring, kind of going through what is taking place right now. But I am in a place in space where I am tired. I'm tired. And I'm tired of letting this keep happening. So the way it breaks down is like this. I have a video on my YouTube, and this is going to go on YouTube as well. My channel, The Less Loop. And it kind of goes into detail what has been transpiring since really I moved in here, okay? In that time period, I have had 4 different neighbors. Now, someone would say, Mackenzie, you're crazy. Why would you think, like, this is what my ex says. Mind you, he's the first person. When I first heard something going on in my attic, first time it sounded like a couple of things, like, fell. And I had no idea, like, it sounded like it was by the bathroom. Nothing fell in the bathroom. But I kind of shrugged it off, like, whatever. Same thing again. Now, this neighbor was questionable in terms of, like, I think he was pretty messed up all the time. But one night, when my ex is out of town, it happens again. And I'm on the phone with him, and this never even crossed my mind that somebody would be up there. And he goes, well, maybe, there may be somebody up in the attic. Now, since that moment, anytime I've brought it up, he has definitely done his due diligence in trying to make me feel like I'm crazy. That is just a hallucination. That I am not in my right mind. Okay? Now, this supports this whole play that he seems to have decided to take in terms of, like, this dude gets caught cheating all the time. Never once has he admitted it to me. I've had to find evidence that he will tell me I did not find. And basically try to screw with my psyche and gaslight the shit out of me. So then I guess, psychology is a hell of a thing. But, so then I would become scared. And in that fear, I would look to him as my protector, Here's the thing. Not one time did he take his ass over to the neighbors. Anytime. Like I would think a normal boyfriend would. And be like, hey, motherfucker. What are you doing? Not one. So, that's another red flag I should have taken into consideration. But I just kept putting it in a place of being like, well, maybe he just doesn't want to start no shit, And I kept playing it off, but it kept escalating. Anytime he showed up and I would try to like have him sneak in, be real quiet so they wouldn't hear him up there, it would stop. And then when I really started to like put it together, I'd tell him to come over here. We're going to put the, what was it? We were going to check up there because I'd already had him install a lock. It's so messed up. When I had him install the lock, he said to me, now if he really wants to get in here, he can get past this. So still like pushing this narrative of fear. Hold on one second, I need to go check this because I heard a sound. I'm still live streaming just so in case anybody wants to know. Alright, we're still over. So, tells me that. Now, looking back, I tell myself, why didn't I put it, like, why would somebody say that? Why would somebody say that to somebody that they love? Instead of being like, you know what, you're safe. We got this. He still wanted me to be scared. So, he's coming up one night. We're going to check up there, right? As he's coming here, This dude leaves. Yo! My cat acts crazy, man. That's a whole part of like the spiritual aspect of this, but that's another video for another day. Dude leaves. Now my ex tried to. He put a supposed board across their door when the neighbor before this neighbor moved in there, was there. He never pulled up on that door to show me that it couldn't be opened. Swore to me up and down. It's closed. You can't open it. And multiple times I said to him, "You're not proving anything. You're not opening it. Well, you want me to just open it and then it'll be open to their thing?" Yes, I do. I want you to open it. And he did not. Now this is when I still allowed fear to take over. And I didn't get up there. I had a hard time getting up there until yesterday. Where I was finally like, you know what, screw this. I heard this dude up there. I'd already called the police once. And I went. And I threw that door open knowing he was up there. And put my camera on. And it's cold. It was cold yesterday. Now, as the night went on, I got scared. I did. Because I couldn't see far enough back there to know that nobody else had gotten up there. Because, you know, at one point it sounded like somebody came over there. Now, this neighbor girl, his girlfriend, every time she calls somebody, she turns on the fan. And I looked that up today, too. That is a way to distort noise, to distort sound, so that you can't pick it up on recorders. Now, I'm not trying to record them talking. But I just noticed this was part of it. Like, I can't help it. The camera's in my apartment. It's not even technically really up in the attic still at this point. It's in my apartment. And I told the office people that as well. And they never said you can't do that. Now, my issue with the office is this. I live in public housing. There is we share an attic. Okay, the attic is wide open. Never once have I been told that we could use that attic space. But there is no rule that says that we can't. And there's no rule that says that the other person can't come over to the other side. So I go to the office today and I address this. The woman who works like the normal office area, she tried to get on me because she was like, well, if your kids aren't there, if you don't have your kids, then you need to go down to a one bedroom. And I said, no. Now, my youngest dad has decided to conveniently withhold my youngest daughter from me. What a coincidence. He's not talking very much, but she's usually very vocal. Very vocal. But my oldest daughter, she is not here because me and her father don't deem it safe. It's not safe here. So when I express that to Housing Authority, they tell me, well, finally, she tells me this whole, you've got to get a one bedroom. And I said, my safety is a priority. I rent from you. I'm a tenant. I have a lease. Boundaries should be established. Where you can go and where you cannot go. I started to raise my voice a little bit. Since she brings her boss in, and her boss is extremely rude. And she proceeds to tell me she doesn't believe anybody's up there. And that if I do catch them, to call the police. Well, you know what? The police tell me that, yeah, they can find somebody up there, but I have to take it up with the office. There needs to be a rule that states, it's just a gray area for them. There needs to be a rule that states where we can go in a regular place. Even it don't matter. Like, there are property lines. There are trespassing lines. So now she says, I don't believe anybody's up there. If you catch somebody, have them call the police. You need to call the police. I said, they're going to just direct me back to you. And she says, no, I go, I want the name. I'd already emailed this to the office woman. And I said, I want the name of who is above you. And she said, well, that's her. And I said, well, then I want the name of who's above you. I want their name and their email and their phone number. And she looks at me and she says, no. You can't do that. You can't do that. So I've been instructed to, compose my issues, in a letter and go before this board. Because they don't see this as an emergency. They put in a letter for maintenance. They don't know if they'll be here before Thursday. This dude could starve. Or freeze. I mean, he's lucky it's not the temperature as it was yesterday. They don't think it's an emergency. And they think I'm lying. So by golly, you better believe I'm going to compose the best letter that there possibly is. Because there are things that they could do. There are. That's, I'm so frustrated. I'm not even frustrated. I'm shocked. Not only that this has taken place, but the lack of urgency. The housing authority has decided to, they don't care. Well, by golly, you're going to care. You're going to care because I'm just getting started. I'm not the one. I'm not. I'm going to end it here. This is just a little bit of what's going on. I plan on making a video every day. I am live streaming on my Facebook. For people on my YouTube, I will give you the information for that down in the description. And, share this. Because people need to be aware of this. And the whole issue with my ex, share that too. Because people need to stay away from him. Women and men. Because he will finesse you and he will fuck you over in all aspects. And next thing you know, you might be in on some crazy conspiracy where you're doing things to help him. And when it boils down to it, he's going to throw you under the bus. Like I told this one up here. You put your whole life on the line basically for somebody who, when it's all said and done, he's going to throw you on the bus and say he never even knew you. See you guys in the next one. Bye.